to Yahweh, Bashima Rashad, double honor to the apostle, brother, great millstone, shalom to the hope for the elect. We're going to get right into it. Right into it. What they say, evil time is at hand, right? Evil time is at hand. Repent. So we're just gonna get right into this lesson. Let's get a let's go to Isaiah 55 and 6. Oh, get into this pretty. Oops, Isaiah 55 and 6, it says, "Seek you the Lord while he may be found, and call upon him while he is near. Let the wicked forsake his ways, and the unrighteous man his thoughts. Let him return to the Lord, and he will have mercy upon him, to our power, for he will abundant pardon. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, saith the Lord. For as the heaven are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts." Verse 11, "So shall my words be that going forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall purpose in the things which I set it." Right? So Isaiah, seek the Lord while he may be found. So let's go right to the video. I should have been. Make sure I check back.
A lot of it was just they are talking about their superior officers and getting information from other branches of law enforcement who expect. I'm sure that you can. We're seeing an increase in violence and all. If you're not interested in self-defense, then you better start being interested. There is a time coming where it's no longer going to be safe to go to the grocery store or to go pick up your medication at the pharmacy. And in a lot of places right now, I'd say that that time has already passed. We're seeing bar altercations and shooting events. We're seeing this happen at the grocery store. We are seeing it happen everywhere. You expect your children to be safe when they go to school, and we expect a degree of safety when we drive to work. But we're seeing road rage and people being pulled out of their vehicles, others being looted. We're seeing people being followed home from the grocery store and their items stolen out of the boot of their car before they even get inside. These things are happening with increasing frequency, and now it appears like law enforcement, maybe this information is coming down from other areas of law enforcement, the FBI, I'm not sure where it's coming from, but to have a couple of law enforcement officers reach out and say that they are expecting unrest in the next couple of weeks, that's significant, and it's something that we need to start paying attention to today. I want to read to you our newsletter. This was for May of 2022 for our Patreon account. This is a story, of course, in which we drive a scene, and we expect information to be gleaned from our viewers and from our readers on how they can prepare for the unknowns of tomorrow. It feels like they have been knocking at your front door for the past 45 minutes. In reality, it has only been a few moments of time, but the strong pounding of adrenaline that is your heartbeat reminds you that when seconds count, every passing moment of time is a moment that matters. "Come on, Brian, I only need a little bit." That's a man's voice piercing through the base of his hand, pounding on the wooden door. A child cries in the background, likely because of the trauma and the chaos of this situation. The banging of hardened fists to front door stops, and you can hear the man, his wife, and their child walking away talking about something. That man is your neighbor, and to your dismay, he noticed one of your lights through a blackout curtain that you forgot to close. This mistake is a beacon in a world that goes mostly dark after sundown. It's not going to be long before the United States of America becomes Brazil, becomes Venezuela, except we don't have the same closeness in society with our neighbors that people will back each other up and look out for each other. Instead, we have vultures. We have been divided so feverishly across the country through political lines that they want you to hate, literally hate your neighbor. Hate them, have jealousy over what they are able to purchase, envy what they are able to have or do, and it is a disgusting trend in the country. His curiosity, speaking of your neighbor, got the better of him, and he walked up into your yard and looked inside of your home. What he witnessed inside of your private shelter was now in superior contrast to his own. You are the prepared. You have a few months worth of food, and while it won't be steak and 2 courses every single night, you will be feeding yourself. That, the lights on, and the look on your face, not of contentedness, but an expression without the same stress that he is feeling, must be what set him off. That's what we're going to start to see. Why do you have enough food? Why do you have ammunition? Why do you have extra money? Why do you get to keep your job? That's the change that we're seeing in society right now. He's not that big of a guy, but he is big enough. And seeing you there, enjoying your meal, he must have went right back to his house, got his wife, got his child, and then came over to convince you about how you should share what you have with him, with his wife, and his child. Your first mistake was the accident of leaving your blackout curtain open at night. Your second mistake was when you told him that you only have a few months worth of food and you really can't afford to give him any. You know, you might be able to see a shift as we read these monthly newsletters between my own feelings of and concerns in our communities. It wasn't just a couple of months ago that I was absolutely telling everybody to, build large community. And I wasn't expressing the need as much to remain quiet in what you do have and not to tell other people what you have. That expression has changed, and now I'm warning people, you need to remain more silent than ever before about what you have. Yes, we still need to build community, and yes, we still need to know our neighbors, but you need to be silent about what you have. A few months, he yells at you. The bolt chaining your door closed, acting as the only thing that kept him from pushing it all the way open. Why do you have that much food, he asks. You know that we are hungry and they won't be delivering anything here for another 2 weeks. That delivery that he speaks of is a government initiative to deliver canned food and some staple carbohydrates to people across the country. You know, this is an actual initiative. It's part of a continuity of government and disaster planning within the United States of America. That if people can't go to the store, the U.S. government will work directly with the farms and they will send the canned goods directly to your house, telling you not to leave your home. It's what they'll do for martial law. It's what they'll do for biological or chemical or radiation events. This is a major plan in the country. It's not far from reality. Families with children
are looking at potentially missing mortgage payments or have missed mortgage payments. There is
everyone after that gets the scraps. Unfortunately, the food was never enough, not even for those first in line, and the barren and exposed ribs of people on the streets tells a story of hardship that you never thought you would have to see. Your neighbor walked away, kept hearing his last words. Come on, Brian. I only need a little bit. It wasn't so much his words, but maybe his tone. You started to realize your mistakes. Your neighbor isn't a big guy, but that doesn't really matter. And now all of the unknown reactions to your action started playing themselves through in your head. Do you remember him ever talking about guns? Did he have any indicative stickers on his car? Here's my family, each little stick figures, and we all have AR-15s. I don't need Brinks, I've got a Colt. There's these stickers that people willingly give the rest of the world information saying, here, I'm a gun owner, I'm a carrier. And they do it, in sometimes just support of their own freedom. Sometimes it's in support of the Second Amendment. Other times it's, a show of bravado. I don't have any stickers on my car because I want that carjacker not to walk up and think that, okay, I've got to overwhelm this guy with force. No, I want him to think this is going to be an easy breezy cover girl, or what's the saying? Easy breezy cover girl kind of robbery. Where he'll just walk up and think, okay, no problem, I'll show a little bit of force and I will roll over. Instead, he'll get a barrel right back at his actions. So I don't give any indications away of what I'm carrying, what I'm doing, how I'll protect myself. I let those that sureness in my protection and in my training be as much bravado as it needs to be on its own. So did your neighbor have any indicative stickers? No, you don't think so. But now you have to realize who else is he going? He's not the only one that is suffering, and in fact, probably 6 out of 10 of your neighbors go to bed wishing that they had more food to eat. And possibly, in just another few minutes or even a few hours, all of the hungry ones, that is your neighbors, will know where they can go to get their next meal. You have to act quick. You realize that it is late, and he probably won't be banging on other people's doors and telling them to come get your food supply tonight. That kind of behavior, after all, get a person shot once the sun goes down. Still, you have to act quick. Being among the prepared, you stabilized enough gas and hid the jerry cans inside. In yesterday's video, I was storing gas and stabilizing it, and I had a couple of viewers, really probably a dozen or more, say, how can I save gas at home? I don't have room to put a large above ground or even underground gas container. That's where you're going to use like military-proven jerry cans. You're going to just search it out for yourself, Jerry, second word, cans. Then you're going to look for a fuel stabilizer. Now this, of course, is to provide an extended stabilization of the fuel source. This is like if you're doing it now and expecting it to be still top of the line, good fuel in 8 months, 12 months. Now, your biggest plan is preparation in rotation. So you're going to get fuel today. It's probably, and all indicators show that it's going to be much cheaper today than it is going to be in 3 months. So when 3 months come around, you'll use that to fill and with new gas. 3 months go by, you'll use that fuel, fill the jar. You go.
So yeah, you see it. Good. You see, let's get right. Let's go to Proverbs. Proverbs 1:20. Wisdom warning. Wisdom cried without, she uttered her voice in the street. She cried in a cheap place of concord, and open of the gate in the city. She uttered her words and said, how long you simple one will love simplicity, and the scorners delight, and the scorners and fool hate knowledge. Right, fool hate knowledge. Verse 23. Turn you at my reproach. Behold, I pour out my spirit unto you. I make known my words unto you. Because I call, you refuse. I have stretched out my hand, and no man regard. But you had set at none of my counsel, at none with none of my reproach. Verse 26. And I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear comes. Right, it's gonna mock when your fear comes. Verse 27. When your fear comes in death and destruction, come as a whirlwind, distress and anguish come upon you. Verse 28. They shall call upon me, but I will not answer. They should seek me early, but they should not find me. Right, you're gonna seek him early, you're not gonna find me. 1 verse 28. They shall call me, but I will not answer. They should seek me early, but they should not find me. Verse 29. For they hated knowledge and did not choose to fear the Lord. Right. You hated knowledge and you did not choose to fear the Lord. None of my counsel. despise all my reproach. Therefore, should they eat the fruit of their own ways and be filled with their own device. Verse 32. But the turn of simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. Verse 33. But who hearken unto me shall dwell safety, and should be quiet from fearing of evil. Right? Should be quiet from fear of evil. So who hearken? Proverbs 1 verse 33 again. But so who hearken unto me should dwell safety, should be quiet from fearing of evil. Right. Right, let's go right into it. Let's go to let me see, try to get what I want. Alright, let's go to let's go to Romans chapter 13. And that knowing the time that known is a high time to wake out sleep. For now is our salvation is near, then we believe. The night is far spent, the day is at hand. Let us therefore cast the work of darkness, and let us put on the armor of light. Let us walk honesty in the day, not in rioting or in drunken, not in chamber and wanton, not in strife of envy, but put on the Lord Yahushua anointed, and make not provision for the flesh to reveal the lust thereof. Right? And be known the time that now is high time to wake out of sleep, for now is our salvation near, that we believe. Right? High time to wake out of sleep. Together. All right, let's go to Ephesians. Hope I didn't forget someone probably will. Ephesians chapter 5, verse 15. It says, you will walk circumspect, not as fools, but as wise, right? Not as fools, but as wise. Verse 16. It says, redeem the time, because the days are evil, right? The days are evil. Verse 7. Wherefore be you not unwise, but understand what the will of the Lord is, right? Understand what the will of the Lord is. Verse 18. And be not drunken with wine within is exercise, but be filled with the Spirit, right? Be filled with the Spirit. No, verse 15. See then you walk in circumspect, but not as fools, but as wise. Redeem the time, because the days are evil. Are evil. All right. Try to get. Thought I had power down right here. Let's go to Luke. Yeah. It said, take heed to yourself, and your heart be overcharged with surfing and drinking, and care of this life. And so the day come upon you underwear, right? They come upon you underwear. Verse 35, for the snare shall come on all them that dwell on the face of the whole earth. Verse 36, it said, watch you therefore, and pray always, that you may be a kind of word to escape all those things shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man, right? Watch you therefore always. Verse I can get 2 Timothy chapter 3 verse 1. It's a difficult time will come. Chapter 3, verse 1. There's no also that in the last days, perilous times shall come. Man should be loving of their own self, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemous, disobedient to parents, and unthankful, and unholiness. Right? Unholiness. Second Timothy chapter 3, verse 1. There's no also that in the last day, perilous times shall come. Right? Perilous times shall. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 7, verse 14. Well, Ezekiel chapter 7, verse 6. And the end is coming. The end is coming. Watch for thee. Behold, it is coming. Right? It is coming. Ezekiel 7, verse 14. They have blown the trumpet, even to make all ready, but none go to the battle, for my wrath is upon all the multitudes thereof. Verse 15. The sword is without, and the pestilence and the famine within. He that is in the field shall die with the sword, and he that is in the city, famine and pestilence shall devour him. Ezekiel chapter 7, verse 25. So right, here we go. Destruction is coming, and there shall see peace, and there shall be none. Right, destruction is coming. There shall be peace, and there shall be none. Verse 26. Mystery shall come upon mystery, and rumors shall be upon rumor, and they shall seek a vision of the prophet. But the law shall perish from the priest, and the counsel from the ancient. Verse 27. The king shall mourn, and the princes shall be clothed with this desolate, and the hand of the people of the land shall be troubled. And I will do unto them after the ways, and according to thy desert I will judge them, and they should know that I am the Lord Yahweh by Shema Rashad. Desert I will judge them. Yeah. Well, Joel, so 2 verse 1. I said, below you trumpet in Zion, sound the alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord come forth is not at hand. Right? It's not at hand. We are blowing the trumpet. All right. What else I got? Verse 1. Make the time diligent in ourselves when seen pass of the sign pass, which I told you before. Thou should understand that it is the very same time within the highest will begin to visit the world which he made, right? Which he made. Verse 3, therefore, when they shall be, therefore when they shall be earthquakes and upwards of the people in the world, and they should well understand that the Most High spoken of those things from the day that were before the even from the beginning, right? From the beginning. For like it as all that is made in the world had a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest, right? The end is manifest. Verse 6. Even so, the time also of the highest had planned the beginning, and wonder and power works, and in effects and signs. And everyone that shall be saved and should be able to escape by his works and by faith whereby you have believed. Verse 8 should be preserved from the same pair and should see my salvation in my land and within my borders, for I have sanctified them from me from the beginning. Verse 9, they should be in pitiful case, right? They should be in pitiful case, which now have bruised my ways, and they got cast them away to spiteful, should dwell in turmoil, right? Turmoil. For sure as their life they have received benefit and have not known me, right? Not known. And they had lose my law when they had yet liberty, and yes, place of repentance was open unto them, and understood not, right? But despise it, right? But despise it. The same must know it after death by pain, right? Death pain. Second 15 verse 5. Verse 4. Verse 4. For the unfaithful should die in their unfaithfulness, right? The unfaithful should die in that. Verse 5. Behold, said the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. Verse 6. For wicked hath exceedingly pollute the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Right, the hurtful works are fulfilled. Therefore, said the Lord, I hold my tongue no more, as I touch their wickedness, which they have profaned, committed another, but I suffer them in those things in which they have, in which they wicked exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and the righteous blood cry unto me, and the soul of the just complaining continually. Right? Chapter 15, verse 14, it said, woe unto the world, and them that dwell in it, right? It said, woe unto the world that dwell in it. That's what it say. Chapter 15, verse 19, a man should have no pity upon his neighbor, but should destroy his houses with the sword and spoil their good because of lack of bread and great tribulation, right? Great tribulation. The beginning of sorrows and great mourning, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power should stand in fear. The beginning of evil, what should I do when those evil shall come? Right, what I should do when those evil shall come, man. That's why chapter 15, right, 16 verse 17, he said, woe is me, who delivered me in those days, right, man. That's how, man. 16 verse 17, it said, woe is me, who would deliver me in those days. Verse 18, the beginning of sorrows and great mourning, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power should stand in fear. The beginning of evil, what shall I do when those evil shall come? Right? Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent, and scourge, vulnerable and men. But for all those things, they should not turn from their wickedness, nor be a wise mindful of the scorns. Verse 22, 2 chapter 15, verse 22. For many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and other that escape hunger should the sword destroy. verse 50. Let's go to that. Verse 50. Great misery should be done to them that in the latter time should dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride, right? Walking in great pride. Chapter 8, verse 50. For many great misery should be done unto them that in the latter time should dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. Walked in great pride. Let's see what else I can get in this. All right, move on. What else I can get? Trying to see what else. I think that should be it. Yeah, let's go to let me see. Let me see. Yeah, go back. I want that. Trying to get stuff. I don't know what. But let me see. I'll go back to the video and see what.
You targeted honest for hanging up impatience and
in 3 years it's going to be ready. You're going to use this sort of fuel storage for everything from filling up your vehicle to running a gas generator. You're going to use it for all sorts of preparations. So you get medicine and other goods. Before all this, you were a pretty passive individual. Now, as you pack, your self-defense tool will not leave your side. You continue late into the night knowing that you won't be able to take everything with you, but also knowing that what you can take will be better than what you would lose if they decide to come and try to take it from you. After what felt like hours, you're all done. You sit on an overturned 5-gallon bucket. In fact, I'm sitting on a 5-gallon bucket right now. It's a kind of impromptu seat for us. Your full-to-the-brim vehicle is visible through the laced fingers that you put over your eyes. You keep asking yourself questions that you already know the answer to. Should you leave? Will they come back? You tell yourself that this is your home and no one should be able to force you out of the safety of your own home. You wonder fleetingly if maybe they will just accept that you have food, and they don't. They'll just wait until the next. That's when it happened. Glass breaks and you hear the thump of whatever heavy projectile was used to break through your front window. You're down with a thud and keep rolling forward in motion. You know, the houses that we have built in cities right now, they aren't built to withstand any sort of social upheaval. They're glass houses in terms of security. People have large open glass windows. They have large glass features on their front doors that a criminal can just stick their arm through and unlock their door. There's just no security here. And the people who do know what's up, who do know what's up, they have bars on their windows. Everybody else looks at them like, oh my gosh, are you paranoid? No. You don't go, oh my gosh, sir, okay, stop being so paranoid. Instead, you go, okay, I know what time it is inside of the area, and I'm going to act and behave myself accordingly. You need to do that even if you're in the, gated community, and you need to get ready for everything. If you don't feel like you can put bars outside of your windows, then you better get something like a 3M security film, something that will provide some sort of shatter protection. Make sure that the Israeli stuff has the
Yep, so you see, so I'm gonna close out right there. So hey, give all praise, honor, glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Worship, honor to the apostles, the brothers, great millstone, shalom to the hope for the elect, shalom.